You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, it's Ruth Langsford, Linda Robson, Janet Street-Porter and Brenda Edwards.
Thank you so much. Hello, welcome to Tuesday's Loose Women Live with our live audience. Oh, so lovely to have you all back. Isn't it lovely to have them back?
I got emotional earlier. I'll be crying when I see them all. It's because they're all so ugly.
You'll get used to that. You'll get used to that. And very warm welcome to you at home as well. It is always lovely to have your company. Now, coming up on Loose Women, he gave his farewell speech this morning, but was Boris Johnson a good Prime Minister? Janet and Linda will be going head-to-head with very different views on that one. Now, he apparently broke up with his ex because she had reached the grand old age of 25. And Leonardo DiCaprio is reportedly dating again, a 22-year-old. So is there anything worse than being traded in for a younger model? Also today, 6 months after the death of her husband, the Wanted star, Tom Parker, Kelsey Parker, will be here talking about a year of firsts for her family without Tom and the challenge that she'll be undertaking in his memory. As always, let us know what you think. We love to hear from you. There are all the ways on the screen that you can join in. Starting today, of course, with the big politics story, Liz Truss will any minute officially be our Prime Minister. She's with the Queen at Balmoral as we speak. Here is a reminder of what she said when it's revealed she had won the leadership contest yesterday.
I will deliver on the energy crisis, dealing with people's energy bills, but also dealing with the long-term issues we have on energy supply. Because, my friends, I know that we will deliver, we will deliver, and we will deliver.
Well, she's going to deliver, apparently. She's going to be delivered. It's only 24 hours since she won the leadership contest.
Ruth, has she got a stutter?
She's got a mountain to climb, though, hasn't she, Janet?
Yeah,
but she's
absolutely.
there, she's very strong. I'll deliver, deliver, deliver. Will she, can she, when will she?
Well, that speech yesterday seemed to run out of a bit of steam, and you felt by the end of it, the audience are going, all right, we've got the message. Because after all, the majority of MPs didn't vote for her in the leadership contest in the first round, in the second round anyway. I'm waiting to see what she announces later on this afternoon, because we're expecting her to make a speech on television probably about 4 o'clock today. And the rumour mills obviously are going mad at the moment. We know that 2 women in the cabinet, in the old cabinet, have resigned. That's Nadine Dorries, the Culture Secretary, and Priti Patel, the Home Secretary. So she's...
Do you think they went before they were pushed?
Well, exactly. They were both very controversial figures for all sorts of reasons. And people are saying that Liz Truss will appoint more women and more people from ethnic minorities to the cabinet than anyone has done in the past. And there's another rumour that there's a possibility she could appoint Penny Mordaunt, who was in the early stages of the leadership contest. Penny Mordaunt could be her deputy. Now, if she does that, that's a smart move, because what do Labour do? They are confronted in Parliament with a more, what you could say, a cabinet that reflects our society probably better than Labour's front bench does at the moment. So I'm waiting to see if Kemi Badenoch, Suella Braverman, people like that are in the cabinet in big jobs, not in like the second division jobs.
I've almost felt like this has felt like a general election. It's gone on for so long. You've forgotten it was kind of a leadership election, Brenda. Are you glad to see a female Prime Minister again?
Yeah, I'm glad to see a female Prime Minister. I'm just more glad that we can just start getting things back on track is what I'll be happy for, as I said yesterday. So, you know, the sooner the better.
Yeah,
But I hope she does what she says she's going to do, which is sort out the energy crisis and the bills and that. I mean, they're just skyrocketing, aren't they?
Yeah, well, because when she talked yesterday about she's going to change how we get our energy, those changes, like, you know, whether it means abolishing green taxes and bringing back fracking and drilling for oil.
Freezing energy
Yeah,
bills.
but I listened to people, you know, in the energy business last week, and they say all those changes are going to take a minimum of 2 to 10 years to bring in. So the newspapers today say she's going to freeze energy bills either till January or till the next election. So we'll have to...
Well, there's a lot of expectation. I mean, huge expectation, isn't there? As you said, we'll hear her speech later on this afternoon. We also heard, of course, talking of speeches, from the outgoing Prime Minister Boris Johnson earlier this morning as he made his farewell speech outside number 10 Downing Street.
The baton will be handed over in what has unexpectedly turned out to be a relay race. They changed the rules halfway through, but never mind that now. The people who got Brexit done, the people who delivered the fastest vaccine rollout in Europe, and never forget, 70% of the entire population got a dose within 6 months. Those prompt early supplies of weapons to the heroic Ukrainian armed forces, an action that may very well have helped change the course of the biggest European war for 80 years. And I just say to my party, if Dylan and Larry can put behind them their occasional difficulties, then so can the Conservative Party.
That's the dog and the cat, isn't it?
That's Dylan, his and Carrie's dog, and then the cat, the number 10 cat.
It says a lot to me. You know, I love cats, and everybody loves dogs, but it says a lot to me when he mentions his cat, the cat, and the dog, and doesn't say anything about his wife. What about his poor wife? I'm like, you know, it's like she's in there. Because he's got a few of them. They're taking a while.
Obviously, like most outgoing prime ministers, they will list all the achievement they believe their achievements, all the good stuff, won't they? List off, I've done this, I've done that, I've done the other. It's all been marvellous.
There was a lot
What
of that.
will his legacy be, in your opinion? Was it a
I
good
think,
prime minister?
unfortunately for me, the legacy that will go with Boris is the lying that he did, and I think that was the beginning of the end for him, because he wasn't open like what we were expecting, and a lot of people lost trust in him. So, yeah, that's the legacy that he's leaving with me, unfortunately.
But to be fair, I think they all lie.
Yeah,
I think they start off with good intentions,
not saying
but then
that, but
that all
if
goes out the window.
you know, obviously we know Partygate, this, that gate.
Yeah.
You know, if he were just up front and say, yes, I did it, put my hand up and take the punishment or whatever, but, you know, everybody else seemed to be punished instead.
Yeah, well, I've always been a big fan of Boris because he lived in Islington. I used to see him all the time.
You
He was
can't
very-
You're a fan because he lived in Islington.
He was a nice man. He used to stop and chat to everyone. I used to see him down the market with his cup of tea and with the dog and that. Yeah, and he's done loads of good things as well. He did, like COVID, no other Prime Minister had to go through what we had to go through, right? He secured the Brexit deal. He secured the Brexit deal when no one else could. We had the fastest vaccine rollout in Europe, so done a bloody good job there, didn't he? Sorry for saying bloody. He's the one who organised early supplies of weapons to Ukraine, and he's best mates with that gorgeous Zelensky, isn't he? There you go. And he gave us some laughs on the way too, unlike you, Janet.
Thank you, Linda. Right, I went right through Boris's speech this morning, and I this is my conclusion. So, in answer to you, lockdown. He said in his speech that neighbourhood crime is down 38% in the last 3 years. That's because we were locked down. We were at home. Criminals couldn't get out and commit crime. Pubs were closed, restaurants were closed. He said he gave us 13,790 more police. Well, they actually promised us 20,000 more police, so he failed on that. He said we had record funding into schools, and he delivered an increase in teachers' pay. Well, schools had to find the money for the increase in teachers' pay, and now schools are facing a 4-day week because they haven't got enough money to run with the increased fuel bills, and schools are going to have to actually lay off staff. The other thing that he said in his goodbye speech, he was wanging on about 3 high-speed rail links, and I think, well, where are they built? They're not built yet. And if you want to go to Manchester, there's only 1 train an hour at the moment because the railway network is in meltdown. There's strikes happening all the time. Anyway, my final point on Boris, and I'll
Thank
make
God for that, hurry up.
He said, typically Boris, I'm proud to discharge the promises I made to you when I was chosen to speak with clarity and authority, i.e. lying as usual.
There you go.
He did say, he used the word returning at some point, Janet. And it's,
They are, fingers crossed.
Yeah, as Kimberly says, she's with you, Linda. I'm very sad to see him go. He did a great job in such difficult times. Hope to call him our PM again one day. Yeah. Kylie's with you, Brenda. She said, no, he set the rules and he disobeyed them all. So many of your comments. I'm sorry I haven't got time to read them all out, but we did ask all of you, do you think Boris was a good Prime Minister? 75% are with Janet. They say no. Ooh. Sorry, Linda. Only 25% say yes. Well,
that's because I've never met him.
As we said, we'll be hearing from the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, when she gives a speech this afternoon, which no doubt...
a week ago.
She didn't know she was. We're talking about...
Is that because she doesn't live in your postcode, Linda?
She doesn't go down the market, does she, Linda?
She lives in South East London.
So we've still got lots for you. Coming up, Sue Barker has pleaded with Cliff Richard to stop mentioning the fling they had 40 years ago. So how much is too much when it comes to talking about your ex? And Linda is trying the hack designed to help you bag the perfect pair of jeans. You measure them, apparently, around your neck. It's all very odd. Linda is going to try it out to see if it works. We will see you right after this. Hello, nice to see you again. Welcome back to Loose Women. And still to come today, Kelsey Parker will be reflecting on 6 months without her husband Tom, including how she's marking special milestones without him. Also, in just a moment, would you confront antisocial behaviour on a bus or train? Would you be too frightened to do that these days? Before we do any of that, competition time again, and there is a life-changing £100,000 up for grabs. How about that? Oh, it's so nice to have you back wooing. We've had to rely on Janet. It's been terrible. Yeah, so that's a great woo. Thank you. I bet Craig Doyle even heard that because he is live in Wicklow. Did you hear that, Craig?
Oh, I heard that, Ruth. I hear everything, you know. I've ears everywhere. I'm a little bit disappointed, Ruth. You know, we have this lovely £100,000 to give away, and I thought it's going to give me a chance to showcase Wicklow, where I live. I brought a load of friends with me. We're going to go cycling around the Wicklow Hills. We're bathed in lycra. And then the rain came along, and we're absolutely soaked. I've had to remove all my clothing, Ruth. Literally, there is nothing under here at all. Not even a blade of hair, nothing. And I'm doing that for all you got. Nothing. You know,
the things you do, the things you do in the line of duty, Craig, honestly.
I know. I don't want to be standing here naked by a waterfall. But sometimes in life, Ruth, you just got to give.
You're a giver. What have you got for us?
I want to give you £100,000 in tax-free cash. How about that? Before things go down a road we can't get back out of. Yes, that is the competition. It could just land in your bank account. It is, as Ruth said, a life-changing amount of money. This is how you get involved.
For your chance to win, text CASH to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 781119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY36 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday, the 21st of October at 3 p.m. The very best of luck.
I won't lie to you, folks. It's colder than I thought down there. Yes, it is lashing rain. But surely a prize like that would cheer you up and bring some sunshine into your life. £100,000. The question is, should I go swimming in the small river down here?
Only if we can watch.
You tell me. I'll do whatever you say, Ruth.
Only if we can watch, Craig.
Yes.
Chase me, chase me, chase me.
Well, we will be back with Craig. Is he going?
He really is naked.
Don't jump in that coat. We might never see him again. Thank you very much, Craig, and good luck with the competition. And we will be catching up with Craig again a little bit later on, hopefully with some clothes on. Now, whether you enjoy the calm of the quiet carriage or you're happy with the hustle and bustle of the normal ones, not many of us want to spend our train journey listening to other people's phone conversations or indeed their music. Well, one transport chief has given this golden advice. He says, if you're annoyed by other passengers playing music out loud without headphones, get off the train. That's what he said. That was what he said. And rejoin the next service. Helpful? Helpful or not? No, I mean, like, you don't want to get off the train. You're in the middle of your journey. You're going somewhere. Actually, I find noise on trains and things really very difficult to deal with, but I would be too frightened to confront people these days.
Yeah.
You know, years ago, I might have said, guys, can you keep it down a bit, or do you mind turning that down? But I wouldn't now.
No, I would probably confront
you.
Would just say, any chance keeping the noise down, boys or girls or whatever? That doesn't really frighten me.
Have you ever done
I don't mind noise either. I quite like noise, and I like listening to people's conversations. I'm very nosy.
Yeah.
So I'll just say sometimes, can you speak up a bit? I missed that last bit. But no, it doesn't bother me. The only time that it did bother me was once when I was on a train. I think I was doing panto at the time, and I got on the train to go home. I got on a where was I? I can't remember. Anyway, a long way away. Milton Keynes. I was in Milton Keynes. Got on the train. Like, absolutely packed the train and that. And just as we went along the stations, it got less and less people. And then in the end, there was just me and this one man in the carriage. I was at one chair here and he was on the other end of the carriage there. And just gradually started moving up the carriage until eventually he was sitting opposite me. And I've never been so scared in my whole life. There was just the two of us on the train. And all I kept thinking is, what I'm going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to kick him in the balls. If he comes anywhere near me, I'm just going to kick him in the balls. Luckily,
we got that. I think we got that.
Luckily, he never. But he got off, and I got off the train, and I'll tell you, honestly, I was so frightened. Yeah. But the same sort of thing happened to
you. When I was young, I was 16 on the tube in London. Exactly that. The carriage was full because my mum always said, "Get on a full carriage."
Yeah.
And one by one, people got off, and this guy was sitting right at the other end of the carriage. And as soon as it emptied, he strode down, and he sat absolutely directly opposite me. I always remember when he was tall, he had a long black coat, and I was so frightened, but trying to look confident. You know, I'm confident, and every time I glanced, he was just staring at me. And then as soon as the carriage doors opened, I knew that I ran up the stairs. But I thought, why would you do that? That's so intimidating to a young girl, or anybody, actually, man or woman. But it does beg the question, Brenda, you know, should there be more security on trains or more...
Well, you know, I go back in the day, when you go on the bus, for example, there used to be a bus conductor. You go on the bus and you buy your ticket from him and then you go upstairs. And I used to think that that was a form of security, and I felt very confident being on the bus because there's somebody in authority there if any trouble breaks out. I think it doesn't do any harm. There's less and less. Sometimes you see transport police getting onto the tubes and things. I don't know, you know, everybody's overworked and everything, but I think a way of keeping down complaints and violence and things that happen on the tubes, and for added security for man, woman, boy or child, if there was a presence there, I think that would solve it.
You'd feel safe. I mean, this certain train chief, Janet, said, we recommend if you experience issues with someone playing music loudly, you get off the train and let a member of staff know. Okay, but what are they going to do?
And then the train's gone by the time you get off and let them know.
What are they going to do?
There are cameras in the trains anyway. So if they're watching the security system and if it's all working, they will be able to see anything like that happening. I mean, I travel on the Underground a lot, and I'm not so bothered by the fear because I'm travelling in the early part of the evening up till about 9 o'clock. So I'm not feeling like under any threat or anything. I do find noise incredibly intimidating, and I don't think if the person was young, I would confront them. But back in the day, I would have been like Linda, I would have done, and now I just take a view. Sometimes you can get away with it with a bit of a smile. I know Linda finds that hard, but I do try. But what I found totally intimidating are beggars. People walking up and down the carriages, singing a song, playing a song, but right in your face. And I find that really, really intimidating. And now a lot of the Underground trains don't have carriages that you can walk all the way through. So the people who are just going to go, you know, there's no point in getting out. They're going to, and walking down the train, they're going to come where you are.
It's just people are just very inconsiderate, aren't they? I mean,
it's a spatial awareness thing. If you've got a phone, most smartphones come with headphones. So just put the headphone in, and I don't know if it's just my ear that picks up a certain EQ, but sometimes when you hear that,
What about people listening to dreadful music though? People got their earphones in, but you can hear they're listening to heavy metal, for example, and you just think, how can you hear that?
Janet, everyone's personal taste of music is their personal choice, but not everybody wants to hear it. But there used to be notices up, and I haven't seen as many notices. You couldn't put your feet on the chairs, you couldn't have smelly food, and
food. Everybody eats on the train all over you.
But
you get like overspill.
I don't see the point in having a notice if there's no follow-up on it. Is what I'm saying.
I don't think you're allowed to drink on a train after a certain time now.
What, alcohol?
There's no alcohol on a train after a certain time.
Well, rules have been broken all over the place. There's no control of it. So.
But I was looking through various train companies here and saying, everything's discouraged. We discourage you. We ask you politely not to. We'd advise you to please be, mindful of other passengers. Arriva Yorkshire, they launched a shush campaign, but it's all because actually you can't police it really, can you? So you can't kind of ban it, so you can't use your phone because there's no one there to police it. So everything is asking everybody else.
I think shush is too polite, if you ask me.
You can't even say what Janet's campaign is to me. Not on daytime telly. That's for our evening show, Janet.
Yes, thank you.
Let us know what you think about that. Would you get off the train if someone was being too noisy next to you? Would you tell a member of staff you just put up with it these days? Anyway, we've got to take a break now, but coming up next, Kelsey Parker is joining us to talk about the very special challenge that she's taking on in her husband Tom's memory and how she's learning to live with loss. Lots more Loose Women debates. We always like those. That is all coming up after this, so come right back. Thank you. Welcome back to your Tuesday's Loose Women Live this lunchtime with me, Ruth Langford, and Linda Robson. How are you? Lovely to see you. Always lovely to see you.
It's good to be back.
How are you doing?
Do you know what? I just still find it so hard to answer, how are you?
Yeah.
Because every day is just so different.
Yeah. And do you not like it when people say, how are you? Do you wish they wouldn't ask you how you are? Do you understand why people always want to know?
I completely understand why people do. But for me, it's like, some days I can't express how I actually feel. But today I'm good.
Today you're good?
Yeah.
But sometimes you find that people try and give you a wide berth, like try and go past you.
They don't want to cross the street,
yeah,
and not speak to me. But then my friends will be like, how are you? No, how are you? How actually are you? And I'm like, no, I'm okay.
So even if you say you're fine, people go...
Some of them don't believe me. They'll be like, how actually are you, Kelsey?
Isn't that projecting what they want onto you rather than giving you the space?
Yeah, but then I do think they actually care, and they know that I'm sometimes a bit like, I might not necessarily say how I actually feel.
Yeah.
But
Ruth, but are there times in the day when it's harder to just...
Evenings are so tough.
Yeah.
Like, because the kids go to bed and then it's just me, and then that's the time that you speak to your partner.
Yeah.
And you gossip and you talk, and I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And how are the kids coping? I mean, do they understand what's happened? Because they're very young. I mean, Bodhi's only one, isn't he?
Yeah, so he'll be 2 in October, like next month. But with Aurelia, she's just like, it's been 6 months. It's very matter of fact that her dad has died. But now she'll just like pick things up and be like, oh, that was my dad's. So she does understand. And then if you see him, like obviously there's so many pictures around the house, she'll be like, oh, look, that's Mummy and Daddy when they got married. So we really talk about him in the house.
And that's
keep him alive.
Important for you to talk about him too.
I think it's so important. And to just keep him alive for them.
Yeah. I mean, you've mentioned there her birthday. You all have, I mean, Brendan knows this more than anybody, on our panel. We discuss it a lot between us. You've always got those first, I talk about it with my sister, all of us have lost somebody, those firsts, the first Christmas, the first birthday, the first Father's Day. How are you dealing with the firsts?
Well,
do you dread them coming, or do you plan how you're going to deal with them?
Well, for me, it's been like I've tried to make everything a celebration. So his birthday, we did a charity walk for him. But like just simple things, like we went to Cornwall every single year, and this was the first year we went to Cornwall as a family without him. And that was like really tough. But I wanted to go because I think if you stop going, then
he wouldn't want you to stop.
Yeah,
would he?
no, he wouldn't even go.
But everything would bring back a memory, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But every place you go to.
And we have so many memories in Cornwall.
Yeah.
So many memories.
I know when one of my friends died unexpectedly, I couldn't even bear to walk where I'd been with him because I expected him to turn the corner all the time.
Yeah, it is tough. Like, no one can tell you how you're going to feel, and I don't think there is a right way of how you feel. You've just got to... For me, I live each day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, how do I feel today? This is what I'm going to do today.
Yeah, but you've got a good family around you as well.
Oh, I have like a village of people. I'm so lucky that they're just there for me. And then in them days that, you know, I might not want people around, they'll turn up and be there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm so lucky. I couldn't do it without them.
Something that I read about is that you're into your crystals. I'm somebody who's got a strong faith, and since my son passed away 6 months ago, I've been using that to just get through every day. I've seen certain signs and things that I look and I'm like, Jamal's here, Jamal's there, Jamal's... Are you finding that with yourself?
Oh, yeah, there's always a sign. Like, we went to the Soho farmhouse for my friend's hand, and then we had a hen party at the weekend, and we were all gossiping, and on the balcony was a white feather, and I thought, yeah, of course he's here picking up all the gossip of us women.
Love that. Yeah.
What are they saying about the men? And then I kept saying to Tom out loud, please make it sunny for Saturday. Please make it sunny for Saturday for our best friend Kelsey's hen do. And the sun was shining and it was forecast to rain all day. And we did a festival outside. And I was like, please. And it was. So I just feel like he's there all the time with me.
Then I suppose if there's a hen do, that means there's a wedding. So a wedding must be hard for you.
That's going to be really tough because it's actually our best friends, Kelsey and Dean, that are getting married. My best friend's also called Kelsey. And they're getting married. I think that's going to be really tough for me, because he would have loved to have been there. He would have been best man. Like, it's going to be tough for everyone that day.
But as you said, do you want to keep his memory alive? You want to be positive and moving forward. And you are taking on the most unbelievable challenge. So this is a 100-kilometre trek.
Yep.
Not just that, but across the Sahara Desert. How did you get involved in this? How did you say yes? Whose idea was it?
Well, Giovanna said, do you want to take part in it? And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
So this is Giovanna Fletcher?
Yeah, she was like, do you want to come and do it? And I was like, yeah, I want a challenge. I just want to keep challenging myself. So I'm like, let's do it. But I feel like it's for Copperfield. I think it's going to be, everyone's going to be talking about cancer. I think that's what I'm going to struggle with, the emotional element of the trek.
Yeah.
Just like...
And it's across the Sahara, isn't it?
Sahara Desert.
Nice and sunny.
Just shrugs it.
It'll be really hot.
Put your
Have you actually
flip-flops on.
But again, this is what I feel like I am. I'm one of these people that like when it comes to that time, I'd be like, oh, I'm doing that like next week. I'm walking the Sahara Desert. I will do training before. I will do training. But...
Well, Janet's the walker, if you want any tips.
Oh, we can go for a walk.
I know. It'll be brilliant. But I think when you get the challenging thing about doing a long distance walk, and I've done quite a few, is you set yourself a goal and then you will go through a point in the day where you think, I'm not going to make it. But then you force yourself to make it and you feel fantastic. And that takes over. That is an incredible feeling. But you have to break down the whole walk into what you're going to do each day. And I think that's good for you mentally, because stop thinking about the whole walk. Just think about what you're going to do in the next few hours, because you constantly think, I'm not going to be able to do it. But you will. I know you will, because you've got the right mental attitude.
100%. I'm not even
sure,
worried
like
about
you said,
that.
you'll feel Tom with you, because you'll want him with you, won't you, supporting you.
And he wouldn't be taken on the walk, I can tell you that. That's been made up going, he won't be doing it.
So if you're in the desert, in the Sahara, where are you going to get your lunch from?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm a bit worried about. Where am I getting my food from?
I did a trek across the jungle once and I lived on Mars bars.
Really?
I had a Mars bar and a packet of crisps every day.
All right, mate.
You'll have to bring your packed lunch with you.
Why am I not
get my
surprised by that?
And one final thing I was reading, which I thought was really lovely, must have been difficult again for you, but again, being positive and always keeping Tom's name alive, is that you've got a family bench and you've added a plaque to that for Tom.
Yeah, it is a real family bench. Like, my great-granddad's on it, and I asked my granddad if we could put Tom on it. He said, yeah, and I just think it's somewhere for the kids to go.
Is it actually in your garden?
No.
It's at the cemetery?
Yeah, no, it's on a golf course.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah. So
it's got a lovely view.
Yeah, beautiful view, and we're just lucky that we've got somewhere to go and walk to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, we know how difficult it is for you, even just talking about him, which we so appreciate. And, Brenda's the same. She does it and it helps a lot of people. So many people watching will be suffering loss and grief and hearing how other people deal with it, I think, is always really helpful. Best of luck. I'm sure you won't need luck because I'm sure you'll do it. Come back and tell us about it.
Yeah, I will.
When you've done your trek, that's in November, isn't it? You're doing
Yes.
that. Good luck. I think maybe you should do a little tiny bit of training.
I'll do a bit of walking. Get the right boots.
Get the right boots, says Janet. Kelsey Parker, everybody. Thank you so much. And if you have been affected by anything that Kelsey's spoken about today, there is information on our website about where you can go for support. Thank you so much again. We've got lots more still to come today. We've got a couple of relationship dilemmas. Oh, we like those. And the ultimate fashion hack to bag yourself the perfect fitting pair of jeans. Linda has tried it out. We will find out if it works. So see you in a few minutes. Very much. Hello, welcome back. Now, before the break, we were talking to Kelsey Parker about how she is paying tribute to her husband, her late husband, Tom Parker. And one of the things that she mentioned, that she's filming her ITV documentary following her and the family since Tom passed away. Now, the crew were actually here filming backstage with her today. There they all are. And you'll be able to see all of that documentary a little bit later this year. Back to today, though, and Linda is going to be trying on some jeans for the first time in how many years?
About 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Because there's this new hack about how to measure.
You put the jeans, the waist of the jeans around your neck, and that tells you whether they're going to fit your waist, apparently. So we'll find out later.
We don't know how that works, but Linda is going to be testing it out. Now, earlier we saw the lovely Craig Doyle in County Wicklow in Ireland, where it was pouring with rain. He claims he has nothing on underneath. I said, we'll come back later and find out. Lost the link. The weather, this is true, the weather is now so bad there that we've actually lost the link, so the rain just got worse and worse. However, fortunately for us, Craig did record a competition for us earlier. £100,000 up for grabs, everybody. I know. Here is recorded Craig with all the details.
Greetings from beautiful Wicklow in Ireland. Now, the days might be getting darker, but don't worry, because we've got something to give your autumn a real boost. How does winning £100,000 sound? Well, that's what's up for grabs in our cash giveaway. One lucky winner will be getting a phone call from ITV telling them they've won a life-changing £100,000. And the best bit is, it's completely tax-free to spend on whatever you want. So if you want to plan your next holiday to get over the summer blues or save it for a rainy day, it is completely up to you. £100,000 is like having an extra £8,000 every month for an entire year. It really is a life-changing amount of money, and I don't want you to miss out. For your chance to win £100,000, text cash to 81119. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website. Entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY36 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday, the 21st of October at 3 p.m. The very best of luck.
Oh, yeah, best of luck. Oh, bless you. Oh, that just proves we've got a live audience, you see. That's what we love. Don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine. You're all right. Now, where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? I don't mean that. Now, actor Leonardo DiCaprio and 25-year-old model Camilla Monroe have apparently ended their relationship after 4 years together. Now, we know that Leo, who's 47, has a bit of a penchant for dating women no older than 25. And right on cue, he has reportedly started seeing a 22-year-old Ukrainian model. So she's younger than the first one, the other one. So that begs the question, is being left for someone younger the ultimate betrayal, Janet?
Well, we don't know how their relationship ended.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite patronising to assume that he dumped her. And if I was someone in my, early 20s and I was going out with a bloke in his late 40s, after a couple of years, I might find it incredibly boring listening to his music and all these people like him. He's a movie star of a certain age who hangs out with his mates and, they drone on about their you know, saving the environment. Meanwhile, they go everywhere in private jets and hang out on very, very expensive yachts, which seems to me a bit of a contradiction. I think it's quite a boring lifestyle. And you might like it, you might enjoy it for a couple of years, and then
I'd blooming love it.
all right, you might blooming love it, but I just think, let's think these women are intelligent. They think, all right, Leo, I've done that, got the T-shirt, got the lots of designer handbags, I'm off back to my career, because most
But there
of
is
these
always that
women
assumption that
are
he's done,
successful.
that the man has done.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, personally, I've never been out with anyone older than me, except for my first husband. And then after that, I reverted to a time when I've always chosen someone much, much younger. And I just think it's fantastic.
You see, I think, but they say, oh, you'd hate it if you were dumped for a younger model. I go, no, I would hate it, because then I could do the whole cliche thing. Oh, Eamon is such a cliche. He's going up the 25-year-old. God, how sad. But then I think, no, the worst thing for me was like if he left me and went off with someone the same age.
Yeah.
Then that would be, I think that's harder than being
I
dumped
agree
for
with
someone
you.
younger.
Yeah.
Myself
But that's not
personally,
gonna happen, is it?
Well, sorry, Linda.
No, I was just saying to Ruth, that's not going to happen.
Well, hopefully not.
Myself personally, like Janet, I've not, apart from my ex-husband who was 4 or 5 years older than me.
Yeah,
everybody
that's
else
the
that
same with me.
Yeah, everybody else that I've dated has been younger, but not more than 5 years. Because in my mind, sorry, Janet, you went in my mind, if you can be young or old enough to be my child, that's too young. But I will say I have, in the past spoken to people and they've been talking to me and I'm like, oh, this is really lovely and this is a great conversation. And then I find out they're 25 or 26 and I'm like, oh, that's a shame.
Literally
because,
puts the kibosh on for you.
You can be, you have mature conversations, but the age is a big thing for me.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Well, listen, let's stay on the theme of relationships. Sue Barker has said that she wants Cliff Richard to stop talking about the brief relationship that they had 40 years ago. And she said, it was a long time ago. It didn't amount to much. And now it's just friendship. Just stop talking about it.
It's a friendship, nothing
and actually,
more.
it can be very irritating if exes talk about you all the time. How would you feel if you were with someone and they just kept mentioning their ex all the time?
Okay, 40 years is a really long time to keep bringing somebody up. But I think if you've just started dating somebody, then you're going to want to know a bit about what happened and how that past relationship ended.
Do that, yeah.
Why do you need to know all that?
They're
not a car. They're not a car. You're not buying a car.
I'm not asking for the service relationship. I would just like to know, what was it that they didn't like, maybe, about that relationship, so
That's nosy.
And also, the way he talks about next. If he talks about him really disrespectfully, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, well, there is that, but I don't think there's any harm in it. If you have children, and you're co-parenting, that person's co-parenting, then there's bound to be conversations that happen which you can allow for. I think when it gets into things, if you go somewhere with somebody and then they say, oh yeah, and I went here with my ex, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to go anymore. Yeah, I don't want to go, and things like that. But I think it's nice to just have that open conversation.
Well, my first husband's not spoken to me since 2004.
Wonder why.
He's a lovely, lovely man. I adore him. But I did a one-woman show where the newspaper headline was all about Janet has a lot of laughs at the expense of her husband's, and that was it. He got the hump. Wrote me a letter, and he still got the hump. I don't think I've been that annoyed with anyone. I couldn't keep it up. But he lives in California, so who knows?
Yeah, but I don't think you would like it if somebody kept talking about an ex, would you? If it was you, if you were the ex.
Nobody said I had to be consistent, Ruth. There's Janet rules and everybody else's rules as Linda's frequently.
Yeah, you don't come in till 12 o'clock every day.
Oh, please, not back on that old story again.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Let us know what you think about any of those. Oh, no, we can talk about jeans, aren't we? Because we were talking about Linda's going to test this out for us. This is the latest viral fashion hack that's said to ensure the perfect fitting pair of jeans. We all know how guessing jeans is so difficult. So you measure them, apparently, around your neck. So you put the waistband around your neck. Linda has given this a go.
Yeah.
What does it mean, measure it around your neck?
I don't know. It all depends on how fat your neck is, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
So I've got quite a big neck, so you put it around there, and apparently that tells you the size of your waist. Anyway, for some reason, it seems to have worked because the jeans are on me and they fit perfectly. In fact, I'm not leaving them here. I'm bringing them home with me today.
And how long haven't you worn jeans for?
Oh, for a long time. I stopped wearing jeans.
Why?
I thought it was really uncomfortable, but these ones are actually stretchy, so they're really comfortable.
Okay. We're going to have a
little look, little catwalk.
Can I say the problem with this thing?
Yes.
Is they're talking about you put it around your neck so you know the size of your waist. What woman has a waist? No women over 40 have a waist. There's the blob of chub. There's the bit of chub here under your bra, and then there's your hips.
They're stretchy. They're stretchy. I've even got room in there for another person. And they feel really comfortable, actually.
Oh,
They really, really do.
Back on your seat.
Oh, shut up, you. They're lovely.
They do
Thank
look
you.
good.
Thank you.
Oh, do you know what? That reminds me, years ago I went into, this is how old, I can say Jean Genie because it doesn't exist anymore. Do you remember Jean Genie?
Yeah.
Right. So they had those kind of swing saloon style doors on the changing rooms. So I went in and tried on those really drain pipe jeans. Remember the days before, they're called skinny now, they were called drain pipes, right? So I got these jeans up, but there's no way the zip was going up. So I thought, no, take them off. But they were so tight, so I was rolling them down. So I was standing like this. I have to do a demonstration. Right, so I was standing like this, and I had my back to the shop. So that's the swing doors. So I'm rolling the jeans like this. I'm going, oh, they're so tight. I got here and I lost my balance. I toppled backwards into the shop. So I was on the shop floor, had the jeans around my ankles, and I was like a turtle on its back. I was like rocking. And these two lovely assistants saw these two girls and kind of rushed in and scooped me like an arm either side and shoved me back in. So that was it's like the horror of buying jeans, really, isn't it? Listen, this is our first day back, not Janet's, obviously, but with the audience. So we just want to thank you for coming back.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Our lovely warm-up man, Lee. Lovely to have him back. And that's it for today. I'm afraid tomorrow, Sarah Brown, wife of former Prime Minister Gordon Brown, joins us to look back at her experience in Number 10, as well as talking about a cause very close to her heart. Have a great afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.